In this lecture, we will look at those two examples. The first one is based on the graph of y equals cosine, this graph, and we want to draw the graph of y equals negative cosine 3x. The second example is that based on the graph of cosine, again the same graph, we want to draw the graph of y equals cosine 4x. Okay, and here are the solutions. We need to first look at this example, y equals cosine 4x, but we know we need to understand y equals cosine x first. This is the graph of y equals cosine x. When x equals those 5 different values, we have y equals 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Remember, this point is a starting point. You may write this is 0, 1. Okay. It means for cosine x, the starting point starts at 0, 1 from here, and then you know it goes down. When x equals pi over 2, your cosine pi over 2 is 0. It goes down. And then when x equals pi and cosine pi is negative 1. Okay, so the graph actually goes down in this way. Okay, this is the basic graph we should remember. Okay, if you don't remember, you know, you always have your calculator. You can take it down. Okay, and then you can basically do is you input cosine x, close parentheses. Okay, and then you go to window. You may go to zoom. And hit on number 6. This will give you the cosine x. Okay, if you don't remember, you may use the TI-83 to help you. Okay, you may zoom in. And you can see that. Okay, and down here, you know, the window, when you zoomed in, the x coordinate is right from where? It's right from negative 2.5 to positive 2.5. You may do is you may hit 0, and then you may here is 2 pi, 2 and then pi. And then when you graph it, you will get a nice picture. Okay, like that. Alright, yeah. So this is y equals cosine x. Now for this picture, y equals cosine 4x, you want first of all to find out the period. Here the coefficient is 4, so it always is 2 pi divided by the coefficient 4 here. So 2 pi divided by 4 is pi over 2. Okay, yeah, because upstairs is 2, downstairs is 4, so denominator is 2. So you know the period is pi over 2, is no longer 2 pi. This one, the period cosine x is 2 pi. And here the coefficient is 4, so you divide it by 4. Why? You see, this is the calculation I want to convince you. You know, from 0 to pi over 2, we can equally divide this into 2 parts, into 4 equal parts. Okay? From 0 to pi over 2, the middle point is pi over 4. You divide pi over 2 by another 2. Okay, so that will be pi over 4. And then another middle point between those two will be pi over 4 divided by 2. Alright, and the middle point between these two is 3 pi over 8. Alright, now you see when you plug in x here, and each x is multiplied by 4. So you see when x is those one of the 5 values, and then each value times 4, 0 times 4 is 0, pi over 8 times 4 is pi over 2, pi over 4 times 4 is pi, 3 pi over 8 times 4 is 3 pi over 2, and pi over 2 times 4 is 2 pi. So you see, that's why we use 4 to divide 2 pi. Alright? Yeah, so you then get 0 pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2 pi is basically the value right here. Alright? And then when this value is 4x right here, you plug in the 5 different values, basically are those things, then you get 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. So I want you to be aware is that those two rows are the same. Okay? Yeah. The only difference is what? You plug in the x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different x's, and then you times 4, you got it back to those 5. Okay? So you can then draw the picture. Okay? So you can see the period is pi, then from 0 to pi, it goes to what? It completes 2 periods. Okay, starting from here, goes down and then going up. This is 1 period, like that. Going down to 0, negative 1, 0, positive 1. Going down to 0, negative 1, 0, and then 1. Okay? So from 0 to pi, it completes 2 periods, because again here the period is pi over 2. Alright? So remember, if here the coefficient is 4, you want to use 4 as a denominator. Always upstairs is 2 pi, downstairs is the coefficient, and then you will end up the period. Alright? That's the example 2 we talked about first. We then need to talk about example 1. Okay? Example 1 is that based on the same graph, we want to draw the graph of y equals negative cosine 3x. Now, as we did right here, we know previously was 2 pi over 4. Now the period is 2 pi over 3. Okay? Why? Here I can show you again. Okay? You see again from 0 to 2 pi over 3. The middle point between 0 and 2 pi over 3 is pi over 3. Is because 2 pi divided by 2 pi over 3 divided by 2 is pi over 3. That's the point right here. Okay? 2 pi over 3 is right here. From 0 to 2 pi over 3 is 1 period. Okay? And the middle point is pi over 3. Alright. Now, another middle point between 0 and pi over 3 is pi over 6. Okay? Yeah. From 0 to pi over 6, you times 2, you get pi over 3. Okay? Pi over 6 times 2 is pi over 3. So this point is the middle point between those two. Alright? Again, the middle point is 3 pi over 6 is what? You add those two together, divided by 2. You see 1 pi over 3. Yeah. 1 pi over 3 plus 2 pi over 3 is 3 pi over 3, which is pi, divided by 2. So it's pi over 2. So this point is pi over 2. That's the middle point between those two. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 1x are those values, those 5 values. And then you put x here, you put every value here, right here, it times 3. So that's why you want 3x. Again, 3 times 0 is 3. 3 times pi over 6 is pi over 2. 3 times pi over 3 is pi. And 3 times pi over 2 is 3 pi over 2. And 3 times 2 pi over 3 is 2 pi. So then you know you have what? You have 5 different values. Basically, those 5 values are the same with that. Okay? Then, of course, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values. They are the same. Okay? I want you to be aware right down here is what? Is those 2 rows are the same with the one above. And then you know you have a negative in front of it in this case. So you want to use negative for each one. Here was 1, you put negative in front of it. 0, you put negative in front of it, you still get 0. Negative 1, you have a negative in front of it, it's positive 1. And 0, again, you put negative in front of it, it's still 0. And 1 you put in front of it is negative 1. So previously it was what? 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Now you have a negative in front of it. So it should be what? Negative 1, 0. Instead of here, it goes down because it has negative. So negative 1, 0. It was negative 1 here, so you got positive 1 because of negative. Negative is positive. Okay? So in this case, it looks like the graph flipped. It's like that. Flipped. Okay? So then you have a negative 1, 0, positive 1, 0, negative 1. Like that. Okay? That's why you know down here is that I explained this one secondly. Is because this one not only includes the period is changed, it also includes the fact that negative, okay, the graph is flipped. Okay, this one only has the period changed, but this one has 2 things. Change the period and flip the graph because of the negative sign. Okay, so please review this lecture. I'll see you next time.